In addition to segmenting and targeting, another key concept is how are you going to position your product in the consumer's mind? And so when we talk about positioning of a product positioning, we are not talking about where the product is on store shelves or where it is available for purchase. When we talk about positioning, we're talking about what image the product holds in consumers' minds. And some common positioning strategies might be to position your product based upon value, that the benefits they get exceed the price. Another common positioning strategy would be based upon quality. And here we have to be able to specifically tell what makes our product better. Another positioning strategy might be service or price or a variety of product attributes. Let's look at what we call creating a perceptual map to illustrate this concept of positioning. Let's say we are in the beverage market. You've already done some research in a previous assignment about the bottled water industry. But let's say you're wanting to see if there's a market need out there for a beverage. And one of the things you're wanting to consider is whether you should, if there's more opportunity for a healthy or an unhealthy beverage targeted to children or adults. So in this particular example, let's look at some beverages and see where they would fit. From looking at these attributes, whether it's a child's beverage and an adult beverage, or a healthy beverage or an unhealthy beverage, let's create a perceptual map for some beverages. What about water? Well, water is a relatively healthy beverage for both children and adults. It might skew a little bit more to adults, so let's just say, and again, I'm not an expert in this industry, that this is where water is located on the perceptual map to show where it is positioned in consumers' minds. What about white milk? Milk is considered relatively healthy. Milk is probably drank more frequently by children than adults, so we're going to position it right here on this perceptual map. What about chocolate milk? Would that skew a little bit more toward a children's beverage? And because it's chocolate, be a little bit more unhealthy? Maybe it would be positioned here. What about soda pop or soft drinks? They would probably move and be more of an unhealthy beverage that's probably used probably fairly equally between children and adults perhaps, so I'm going to position it here. Again, I'm doing this without marketing research. What about coffee? Coffee's probably what? An adult beverage, and it's seen as relatively unhealthy. Tea, same thing, although, oops, I skipped ahead. Let's look at tea. Tea might be considered a little bit more healthy because of all the antioxidant green tea sorts of things that we hear. I skipped past juice, which is probably consumed more by children than adults, especially if it's apple juice or something like that. And it's probably considered somewhat healthier than chocolate milk, perhaps, or I'm not exactly sure on that one. But the point here is that you can see a perceptual map that shows the position of various products in the minds of consumers. And this might identify areas for product growth. For example, it seems to me like we need more healthy beverages for adults. So I hope that this has illustrated clearly to you the market interpretation concepts of segmenting, targeting, and positioning.